What's up, family? Casanova here, and I wanted to take this time to talk to you all about something that I get asked a lot, and I'll often answer the same way of how do I develop resilience and adversity, and how have I been able to do it with all the storms that I've went through where many people would have maybe broke. How have I been able to continuously overcome? And I think that is relevant right now because we are in a time in this world where whether you're dealing with a pandemic, whether you're dealing with you've lost someone from the pandemic, whether you're dealing with furlough or you getting fired from your job, or there's just so many different things that are going on. We have the election coming up and not knowing who to trust, and the media just constantly putting out fear. And so there's a lot of uncertainty in the world right now. There's a lot of pain in the world right now. Obviously, police brutality, systemic injustice. There's so many things that could just have us every single day feeling like there's no hope. And so I know I felt that way many a times. And whenever I'm speaking, whether it's on podcasts or virtual summits, or even when I was speaking live, a lot of people would ask me, how exactly have I been able to continuously overcome? And if you know anything about my story, you know I'm no stranger to adversity, whether that means losing my two best friends at the age of 8 to a swimming accident where I was supposed to be right there with them, whether that means going through stage 4 lymphoma cancer, experiencing chemo, and just about anything that anyone else does when it comes to the C word, or if that meant losing my mom, my job, my home, all within a matter of a couple weeks, losing my status of feeling like that, I could provide for my family, to then my wife having to support me not only emotionally, but financially while I tried to figure out my life. I'm no stranger to adversity. I've went through it. I continuously go through it. There's wins and losses every single week, but how do I continuously have the mindset that this isn't the end and that my future is still brighter than ever? And that's the same thing that I want to make sure that you have, because every single day we have an opportunity. And so when I answer this question, I answer it with telling about the story of the lady. There's a tale of a lady, and she goes to cook, and she cooks 3 different things. And one of the things is a carrot, another thing is an egg, and the last is a coffee bean. Now, if you've heard this story, bear with me, because I believe that I'm going to shine some light on how we can take this and interpret it into the world that we're living in right now. But if you haven't, I think it's a very interesting perspective. And so to get back into the story, basically, when you boil a carrot, right, when it gets at its hottest point, it gets soft and it gets mushy, right? When you boil an egg, when it gets at its hardest point, it gets very hard on the inside. And when you boil a coffee bean, when it gets to its hottest point, it then turns all the water to the color of coffee, which is brown, and that's how coffee is made. And so I think that that's very, very critical to understand, because a lot of the times we're conforming to our surroundings, right? At least mentally we are. We're allowing the media, we're allowing those little voices in our head, we're allowing our environment, we're allowing our spouse, whoever it is that's putting those negative connotations into our mind, and we're allowing that to eat us up, which then makes us unenjoyable, right? That means that we don't like who we are. Maybe our kids don't like who we are. Our family doesn't like who we are. We've turned soft and mushy on the inside, which means that we're weak. We no longer have that posture which we used to have. We've turned hard on the inside, so we're pushing everyone away, right? That means that no one wants to be around us. We don't trust anyone. Everything is cold, right? We're very hard on the inside. Or do we then remember who we are on the inside? So when someone else tries to put their fears, their doubts, their negativity on us, we then flip the script and we turn them back to who we want to be, because we shed light on our dreams, our goals, our ambitions, who we decide that we're going to be, right? We never lose sight of that. And so I wanted to showcase that with you, because for me, I've always thought, like, I want to make sure that at the end of my rope, I can be a coffee bean, right? That I can inflict enough positive energy, enough positive mindset, that no matter if my day was done tomorrow, whoever came in contact with me over these last year, 2 years, 5 years, 10 years, they would always say that that kid had a great spirit, right? And he was infectious with that spirit. Now, the same thing could be said for you. You don't have to know it all. You don't have to even have went through all the adversity that I've been through, and that I continuously always sometimes even inflict upon myself, right? By taking risks. But just know that for you, no matter where you are in your journey, there's somebody that's 1 step, 2 step, maybe even 3 steps behind you, or better yet, even right there where you are, with experiencing that same amount of adversity, no matter how big or how small. But the beauty of it is they're looking at you to figure out, can they keep going, right? So understanding that your story's not for you. And at the end of the day, we're all built to be coffee beans. But will you change the environment around you? Because if you're saying to yourself, hey, he did this to me, or she did that to me, or I just can't catch a break. The reality of it is we all want life to be fair, but it's not fair, right? It's not fair. And success isn't fair. Success is those who are super committed to whatever your goal, your dream is. Everybody's dream looks different, right? So success is really how I like to define it. You can't have success without having roots. And where do those roots come from? In my opinion, they're relationships, right? Success is the impact that you've had through relationships that you've created, because that's where your memories come from. That's how you truly feel successful. So it's very important that you watch who's around you, and at the same time, those people might not be as strong as you. So that's why it's even more important that you are a coffee bean, because then when everybody else is breaking down, you're that person that's building up. You're that person that becomes the leader, just because your mindset, it won't let you break. You understand that, yes, there's pain right now, but joy wouldn't feel so good if it wasn't for pain. And while we never like to experience pain, understand that pain is what creates character, because adversity is what builds the character. So for me, when I went through all of my pains, when I went through all of my suffering, I understood it at the end of the day, that was how I was going to build my character. That was who I was going to be, right? One of my mentors, and I'm sure a lot of people know, but Jim Rohn, right? I like to call Jim Rohn a mentor from afar, because I've listened to so much and he's given so much wisdom. But one of the things that he said is, make sure that you do not wish for less problems. You just develop a bigger skill set. A lot of the times we want to wish away our problems. No, because the problems are how the solutions are created. Right? You're going to have frustration. There's a problem. And that's where innovation comes in. That's where solutions come in. That's where pure entrepreneurship comes in. Regardless if you own your own business or not, we figure it out. We figure out ways to do it. And so that's my challenge to you. That's my encouragement to you. One, understand that you were born a coffee bean. Regardless if you believe it right now or not, think of all the things that you've already overcome before this pandemic even came. Maybe it was a bankruptcy. Maybe it was adopting kids that, you weren't even supposed to take in, but then they came to you and you overcame, you made it work. Maybe it was getting your high school diploma. Maybe it was finishing college when no one else did. Maybe it was, becoming a teen mom and now all of a sudden you have a child that's about to go off to high school. There's so many beautiful things that we've all overcome. And we got to make sure that we're aware. We got to make sure that we sit back and we understand how were we able to overcome these. One, it was because we were coffee beans, right? We were built for this. You're built for this. That's my tip of the day. Remember, in the dream we trust, but we must take action. I'll see you on the next one.